Recording is in progress, and I'm welcoming the Dutch and Belgium world travelers with a Qatar delegation. Luc Verstrepen on the left side from Belgium, and Gary Smith on the right side from the Netherlands. Actually,
Very
not
good.
really. You are not really from the Netherlands, but you live in the Netherlands.
From DeLand, Florida.
Yeah, right.
Next to you. No, from South Africa.
Yeah, born South Africa. So, gosh, we have talked for now. It's been a little while again, but we are lucky to me, and thank you to you. We are doing this on a pretty regular basis because you make yourself available, even when there's time and stuff. So, thank you for doing that. Now, this time, where are we? I'm in the land. Everybody knows that. The
I'll
palm
leave,
trees,
I'll
palm
leave that
trees
to
are
you.
here, so it's the land.
Well, we are in Spain, Madrid. And yeah, we're running a tunnel camp with our Qataris, with cheetahs and lions.
But the tunnel season is over now. Why tunnel camp?
Yeah. It's a difficult one. We went to, in fact, I was thinking of it. We last spoke to you, Kurt, when we were in Berlin. We were just doing the tunnel meet in Berlin, the German indoor nationals, which was great. And then the guys went into Ramadan, and then we traveled to China, Macau, and we did the meet there. But we still had 10 days on the camp, but we could not travel with gear bags and weight belts and go jumping straight away. So we just kind of extended it into doing a tunnel camp. And basically what we're doing here is skills. We're just doing individual skills with the guys. We're trying to give them a break because we worked hard on preparing for tunnel competitions. It's specifically just four-way and technique. And we haven't really had enough time to do basic skills with some of them. Some of them for sure, they need it.
Yeah. So why do you have to go to Spain for that? I mean, there's a tunnel in Abu Dhabi. There's one in does Qatar have a tunnel yet? Or
Yeah, but it's not always available to us. The Qatar one. It's one that's sometimes you think it's easier, but it's not that easy to get it booked. When you booked, it's easy, but when you're not booked, it's a bit of a nightmare. So
and then the question anyway, whether Abu Dhabi or Qatar, why Spain? I mean, there's so many tunnels in and why Madrid? There's so many tunnels in Europe.
yeah, I mean, we've been here before, and we really like the tunnel, and they allow us to fly first and pay later. Scenario because of the military, they first need an invoice, and not many tunnels want to do that, and it's just easy for us. We have a good hotel here, and 10 minutes driving, and we're in the tunnel, so it's actually good. It's good for us.
So you just traveled. We go back to China now, Macau, of course. That's the main purpose of our coaches corner here. But that's a long. You just traveled from Macau, China, now to Spain. That's a long trip too. How long does it take you?
Well, we're about 9-10 hours to get to Doha, and then from Doha another 6 hours. We had a 2 or 3 hour layover, and then another 6 hours to get to Madrid. So it was
basically a whole day.
It was a heck of a long trip. Yeah.
So
and then Luke didn't arrive with no luggage. Baggage.
Well, I guess when you're traveling as much as you do, that you have to expect that to happen once in a while, right? Yeah. Well, luckily you don't really eat that much, right? You don't have to bring gear or a jumpsuit or anything.
No.
You just need your computer basically, and then you're ready for work, more or less. Yeah, it's all in your brain, right? There's no, everything is in your brains. I like this actually now when most of your work is actually you just carry in your 2-3 kilograms on top of your neck. You carry everything you need. You bring it everywhere. Nobody can take that.
Yeah, well, sometimes it's nice to travel with a jumpsuit helmet to get into the tunnel. But obviously, as the teams get better, you do less and less flying, So the guys that we have now are getting to a very good level. And unless like now with individual skills, it's good to get into the tunnel with them. But other than that, when they're flying, yes, you can get in and you can fly every block, but eventually they have to do it as well. So unless there's something really wrong, they are flying. We hardly, the last, 2 months, we hardly flew with them. We just let them fly.
Yeah, I want to pick this up again because I've heard so many times, and I'm still trying to spread this word kind of that come from the smartest and most experienced people in the world, and now from you again too. You from whether it's from Hayabusa or Airspeed or whatever, you are working with the cutter teams now on individual skills.
Yes.
They are on a 25 whatever average level or higher, and you are working with them on the individual skills.
Yes.
So what are you? Yeah, what is it? What turns on place? Carving?
Yeah, but also knee movements. Sometimes the guys fly a lot of upper body. They're picking up grips when they're not ready. So there's all that type of thing that we're trying to, some guys they have it. It's very natural, and some guys need a little bit more work on it. And we need to work with those guys more to help the things improve. And even we're doing cat turns, we're doing compressed turns, piece turn-ins. We have a lot of now. The first 2 days now I had no booties. I took the booties off and let them fly just to use the knees more.
Interesting. Yeah, as well, the tunnel instructors are usually good examples for that.
Yeah, exactly.
They can move pretty nicely, and they don't have booties or any other jumpsuit or whatever. They do it all with the body flight. Okay, well, let's go back. Let's go to China. Let's go to the Indoor World Cup. You were there with your teams, and what did you see about your teams and in general, looking at the field of teams in four-way open we had, for women we had. Those are our disciplines. How happy were you with or what was going on with your teams, the Cheetahs and the Lions? And what did you see with the Tigers? And what else did you see? Many questions.
Big question, that's for you.
Yes.
Yes.
Our guys.
Yeah, our guys, if we talk about, we had a little bit, not maybe how I have to express myself, not maybe the best meet for the guys. But there were some reasons behind. We had changes in the team. We're missing one guy from the Lions. So one from the Cheetahs moved up, and he was in a new slot. He had to learn a new slot, what he never did before. And then we moved in one of the very young guys, actually, who is doing camera. We moved in the Cheetahs. So both teams didn't perform on the same level like win games. This is sure. And Germany. So
okay. So that happened after Germany.
Yes, it happened after Germany.
During Ramadan.
During Ramadan.
So we basically had what, I think 1 hour each team of training before China, in China. So it was very difficult.
Yeah. And then of course the team makes some mistakes, and it's not that it was not that easy, for them. I guess the changes. That's what I think from the two junior teams.
And Niklas said that, I mean, Airspeed was there several days before to accommodate with everything, and he said that the entry into the flying chamber was unusual. Let's say, I think he mentioned like a trampoline or something. That was
like a drop, isn't it?
Yeah, and drop.
Yeah. So with only 1 hour with little time to get familiar with it, Airspeed was obviously familiar with that, he said, by the end, after enough training. So did this affect somehow the teams there too? Did you see that?
I don't know the exits.
I don't think it affected us as much.
No.
I mean, I was impressed with our guys, but for many teams, yes. Even NFTO on some of the exits were on the net. And you saw it with the Chinese team, you saw it with many teams. They would exit, and sometimes they'd be fine, and sometimes they'd be on the net. And then it's difficult.
Yeah, once you're on the net, that's really tough.
It's almost like a bounce. It's almost like you bounce on the net. And if you You know what I mean? Airspeed are phenomenal. They just take that big step and they jump, and they all
Right.
jump at the same time, and they're a meter up and they're flying. But if
Mm.
you have learned to walk and jump, when the first out, let's call it the outside center, goes in first, the first person in the tunnel, if they drop a little bit and the others come in, they almost fall or push them down. It's not flying.
Yeah.
But we learned, I think all teams learn to deal with it, but some exits or entrances like the 20 or the 2 were not always that easy for all teams, you know.
Yeah, you don't see this, you don't see much of that. I was trying to detect it. You don't see
Yeah.
much of that from the top camera there, from the top.
No. Yeah, it's not like you think that they turn the net. You get off the net, but if for example, if you had to do a 6 and you're on the net, you're in big trouble, you know. But you can go
Yeah.
in and you be a little bit on the net and do a 7. You can turn because you're a little bit off, but you're right in the net, like in the bottom
Hmm.
of
So
bottom of the tunnel. So it's not great.
No. And some blocks, when they start close to the door, then you're in trouble.
I mean, the example NFTO on the jump off, it was block 2 entrance against the American girls. And I was watching the engineering, or they asked me just to have a look. And I said, are you comfortable with the block 2? And they said, oh, we're very good with block 2. And I was then helping Regan with the commentary with Nicholas on the jump off round. And with one eye, I was watching them enter. And I thought, well, let's see, this is a good entrance for them. And they went and they were on the net. And you see, if you look at the video from the top, they do go, Libby does go around. She does it fine. But looking from the side, it was not the entrance that they want. And she came out and Banner says, I'd never say that again. We didn't have the best 2 entrants, but they were very confident with the 2. And that's after doing 10. This was their 11th entry in there.
But
know,
that all is just related to the entries, actually. Once you're in there and safe, and
then it's perfect.
Yeah, it's a good tunnel.
Very good. It's a very good tunnel. Good air, nothing wrong.
No, the entry matters. So I mean, all those tunnels were originally not built to launch 4-way formations from that. You know, they were built for single flies to go in there and fly. So I guess that you never know what to expect. You have to go there really and find out, how the door works.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
mean, that's jump preparation, competition preparation. Like if you're jumping out of a pack for a world meet, you go and train the pack.
Yeah, of course.
But the problem with Macau, I mean, for us, we had Ramadan with the Qatari, so we couldn't really go out. Tigers were allowed; they could go out. Our guys did not. And then when you tried to book training time, it was full with the free flying. We couldn't get training time. We wanted an hour a day, and we got an hour in total over 4 days. So it was not that easy to get time. It was fully booked.
So what else did you see? I mean, the whole world was shocked, impressed, fascinated, whatever, find the right word that you like, about the Chinese 4-way women team. Were you surprised, shocked, amazed, fascinated, or did you expect that?
I'm going to tell a small story when we were upstairs and you could look down into the tunnel on one of the training days. It's when the Chinese arrived and they had these orange helmets on. And I'll let Luke describe it, because I looked at it and I was totally shocked. But he'll tell the story. But
well, when they arrived, and we was on top in the building and looking down, and I saw orange helmets, and they went really fast. It was a normal 5-point random. And they were going and going, but busting and unsynchronized, and this not finished. And we said, look at this, how fast it was. It was fast. And then, but can be everything.
And it was terrible.
It was terrible.
You didn't know who it was by then.
Well,
they came out and we look afterwards and we saw, oh, it's a Chinese flag on the jumpsuit. It must be the Chinese. And then it was the girls, and the male actually did the same. Huh?
Yeah.
They did exactly the same. They were very fast, but also full of mistakes. That's the first impression. We said could be everything. They're fast, but you're not survive with this.
It was not synchronized. Yes. The keys were terrible. They were on wrong formations. 2 was on one, 2 on the other, but they just kept going. It just kept running. And I think I said to Luke, I think they probably did about, who knows, 10, 11, 12 pages, but they're going to score about 3 pages. The rest was just a disaster. So that was my impression of them.
Yeah.
And then I did see them train, and I did see some good blocks. There's something, but then in the competition, of course, as we all knew, they held it together and they were unbelievable. And that same speed, but they were better synchronized. It was incredible flying. They gymnastic, they athletic. And such humble people, eh?
Yeah.
Humble,
Yeah.
smiling, thank you. Incredible.
Yeah.
Well, how do you think, how many days before the competition began did you see that the orange helmets appeared? You were upstairs and the team
Maybe
was
2 or 3 days before, because NFTO arrived just the day before to do, and they only did 15 minutes in that tunnel. And they had asked me, and I said, yeah, we saw the Chinese. But I said, well, it's very, very quick, but it's going to break down. Over 10 rounds, I didn't see them have a problem. But I was wrong. I was totally wrong with it. They kept it together. They're good flyers. And their block technique sometimes is not necessarily wrong. It's just force, but they handle it. They really handle it. Can they go quicker right now? I would think they need to slow down and smoothen things out to look like airspeed to go quicker. Because if you look at airspeed scoring the same amount of points on 2 jumps, airspeed looks so calm, clean, everything's, and these girls are going. You know, looking at it from a level. If you look at it from the top, sometimes you don't really see much pitching in it.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, they are far ahead of everybody else in 4-wheel women, and they are the 3rd best team in the world on the combined leaderboard.
Yeah.
How is that the strategy? They just eat the penalties and the whatever, the missing accuracy, and they just go fast, or what's the strategy there? What do you see?
Again, I mean, we couldn't speak to the coach much. He was there, and I know Solly said he had worked with them, and I think it was a while ago. And he said more he wasn't coaching the girls; he was more felt like he was coaching the coach, you know, about the technique and stuff like that. So they do have a coach. I don't know what the strategy is, but they're just going. And I think it's almost, if you get in there, you get it. It's like running 100 meters, and every time you go train, you train full speed. There's no half speed with it.
So basically, you were shocked by, not by you were shocked first by what you saw when you saw it the first time, and then you were shocked or surprised how
Well,
they what?
We were shocked again.
Yeah, they get better and better.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And then you must have been
better.
totally. Then
Yeah,
like you
growing
told
in the
NFTA,
competition.
you think they cannot fix that within 2 days, and here we go, all of a sudden, you know, having it all
Yeah.
fixed. So how do you do that? I mean, what do you make of that?
There was one round, I think, round 5, the beginning of the second day, the 15-10A. If I'm looking at the score, they scored 21. They had 3 busts, so it was actually 24, but they scored 21, and NFTO, I think, scored 23. And then I thought, wow, this is maybe the change. Here comes the more technical stuff, or the stuff that will help NFTO a little bit, but it didn't. Straight after that loss in round 5, they came back in round 6, and they took a higher score. I think they almost.
So it was round 5. Yes, round 5 now. That's a technical one.
Yes. Yeah, this was the first jump of day 2.
All right.
And
so that's a technical one where you thought like NFTO can make up some ground, or
they made up. NFTO did make up some ground on this one. They made up 2 points, I think 2 or 3. But then on the very next round, round 6, these girls tied airspeed.
Yeah.
So then I go, well, that's it. There's no nerves or anything, you know.
Well, I have to say that the technical stuff doesn't look that bad either. The more technical stuff. So is this a kind of, you know, China used to be kind of famous, like let's go 10 years, 20 years, 30 years back. And China was famous for just copying things, looking at things, copying them, and coming up with their own product, just maybe even a little bit better or cheaper at least. Is that what they do? How do they get there? They must have. Solly was coaching them, like that was in 2015, I believe. At Disneyland, when I saw that, I found a photo there. And so in the meantime, they are self-made, if you can say so. So
Well, they've kept the same group together now. So these girls, I think, have been together for 8 years. So that's definitely a little secret in the thing, to keep the same group and not change out.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then obviously when they train full power. I mean, I would see them come out of the tunnel after every jump, and they go and stand at the coach in the corner, and he looks at them, talks to them, and they're all listening to every word he's saying. You know, there's
Well, it sounds like fun. Maybe I'm going to change my coaching strategy completely. I'm not going to tell them, hey guys, go slow, learn everything else, and make it
just go as
correctly and
fast as you can.
accurately. Go as fast as you can,
Yeah.
and then we're going to clean it up somehow.
Yeah, but in a way, we have it now with our guys, with the lions and the cheetahs. If you look at the busts, we bust in way too much, because the guys are going quicker than what they can fly together. But it's a case of, do we stop? Okay, yes, we changed members, so it's not fair for Macau. But even in Berlin, we had too many busts. In Win Games, too many busts. But they're going that fast. It's just a case of eventually, hopefully, they'll get it together. You know,
But eventually you can learn to go fast only by going fast.
Yeah,
And then you
exactly.
have to correct it. If you never go fast, you will not know how it is to go fast. So at some point you have to make that transition. But I still believe that it's like in soccer, you first have to learn how to stop the ball before you try to kick it directly into the goal. So there is no other way how to.
Yeah.
Anyway, so here's one thing. Now, you guys are very related to Hayabusa. Um, Gary you have been coaching them to make them world champions, basically the best team ever, in history that we've had. Luke is one of the members of Hayabusa inside center for a few years, long ago. You're still very connected with them. And then they were not in Macau for the. Well, was that a kind of a sad situation to see they were in Norway last year, so that's good.
Yeah.
And then they haven't attended any meets ever since, I believe. No, they did something.
Well, I mean, I'll let Luke go with it, but in general, just from us, they've had the big member change when Mikey stopped after Voss, and then they had to search for a new member. They found somebody very quickly, but he's very, very junior, Ray. He's very,
Right.
very junior. And they could have maybe come with Dave. That was an option. They could have come with Dave and at least secured a medal, maybe. But then it's a case of, are you wasting time with Ray? So that was the thing. If they bought Ray, it's a case of, wow, are you coming to the meet? And it was an expensive, it's a big journey for them. And right now they are in Brazil. They've just made 50 jumps last week with Ray, and also a little bit with Dave for the SISM.
Yeah, they're switching back and forth. Actually, in fact, I talked with Dennis today. I will. We speak some more later. So they are really, doing both at the time. But it's kind of, yeah, I don't know. It's like Germany wouldn't send a team to the World Cup in soccer. I mean,
No, it's sad that they weren't there. I mean, Luke is a very strong Hayabusa supporter, and he was saying, wow, he's disappointed that they didn't make an effort somehow to get there, because there's a medal there. There is a medal, and it might have been a bronze medal. They would have had to fight tigers for a bronze medal. But at the end of the day, a medal is a medal, And
the fourth place is the fourth place. Yeah, I think it's a very
Yeah.
important learning experience to learn that
And
you
also for
cannot
your
always
nation.
win. You cannot always win. You cannot always medal. You have to learn that.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
exactly. Yeah. But with Ray, I don't think they would have got there. With Ray, for sure not there. But if they put Dave in and trained, they would have had a go. They would have had a chance for a bronze. But then is it worth it? And obviously with their bosses, they decided not to go.
Mm-hmm. Now they have. I'm sure they have their own reasoning, and Dennis will tell us, what this. I'm not questioning. It just. my question was more like, was it sad, that they were not there? And of course it is.
Yeah,
for
for sure.
all of us who it's a small community, and we like to see them, and we like to be when they're cool guys, they're friends for all of us, and then not being there, then of course we are sad, if they can make it. The reasoning side is a different question. They are military too, so you know what being there are. There's the administrative side of it or the management side of it, and you have to do what they tell you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's all there is. Oh well, gosh, that time went by again quickly. I got the warning, the Zoom warning, the typical. Last time, I think when I spoke with Nicholas, it was, I've never done this before, but we used up the time really to the last second, basically.
Yeah.
We said,
I mean, Kurt, I just wanted to add in for obviously for the meet, it was an incredibly well run meet,
Yeah.
well organized. It was an unbelievable experience. So one of the best one of the best
Yeah,
meets we've been to.
Meats. Yeah.
Really, really well run. They didn't cram it all in. That you had the 3 days, which kind of also helped you to relax. You did 4 rounds. You could rest in the afternoon, and then 4 rounds. They didn't bring you back in the end of the day to which some tunnels are doing now.
Yeah.
You do one and then you come back later. You go and then you're done. And I like that. And we did 4-4-2, four jumps, 2. The hotels were unbelievable. Really, really good. And then as far as teams go, I think Arizona looked so good. You know, really, really, really comfortable. French, unfortunately, had the change with Tom. I think Pamela did a fantastic job. And they were very safe in second place. You know, Tigers did not threaten them, and they were almost the same distance to airspeed as Tigers was behind them. So they never had that problem. Tigers, I think, also looked good. They did a 30 average, which is right there with their best. But it's a case of they need to take that little jump. They need to get up into, as we see, they need to do 31, 32, 33 average to start chasing a silver medal, you know?
There's no, I mean, it at least, I mean, the indoor competition is over for airspeed now. So, you know, that's where the Tigers will move up the slot for the moment, at least. But outdoor competition, we will still have airspeed. So at the moment, there is no room for Qatar to move up, I guess.
No.
For the Tigers.
No, but airspeed, I think, will come with a new team or Golden Knights. You always, America will always have a strong team.
No doubt, but at least it
never
will
a
be
competition that the US is a weak team.
But the dominance that we have had with this airspeed lineup is, you know, that's unusual. I mean, they've been
it's been. I mean, they are right now untouchable, almost like what Hayabusa was in their peak. You know.
Yeah, but even Hayabusa weren't. You know, if you look at Australia in 18, there was, you know, there was speed. It was a 1-point difference. So airspeed or other teams were relatively close still. You know, the dominance like we have it now is unused. You know, you have to go very far back to find anything like this. I don't even know. You know, when you were Magic, you were chasing.
Oh, we were winning by 2 points or 4 points. You know,
Fire the same thing. So there has never been. The airspeed right now is I would almost say unique. You know, I cannot recall anything in this.
They look so comfortable. Eh?
Yeah,
they look so comfortable with it.
It looks so clean, so controlled.
The whole team dynamics looks good, and then in the tunnel, it just looks like it's so easy.
They're so used. That's a big advantage. They're so used to the pace now.
Yeah.
You know, for them, they don't go fast. In their eyes, you know, they're not going fast. They just do what they do.
And that's what's going to be hard for Luke and I were discussing it. That's going to be outdoors. The French have to do a lot of work to catch because they are comfortable at this. What they did in Voss was also great skydiving, and they're comfortable there. Look at even the Shamrock. You know,
there's no way nobody can catch them this year. You know, France has a chance next year. Hopefully, they will continue with the same lineup because then they will catch up. You know, they will take the #1 position probably.
Yeah, but that has to be, you know, I mean, if airspeed, we know airspeed are changing 2 members, and then they'll go back into a growing year, you know. I don't know who they've got, but I mean, we'll see.
Timing will be interesting. Timing will be interesting. France may take the top spot in 2025, but 2026, 2 years with a new airspeed lineup or Golden Knights, whatever, then it will become more interesting again, probably. And then there are the Tigers. Well, that was a lot of good time of speculating and chatting.
Good to see you, Chris.
Yeah, it was great, man. So, thank you very much. What's coming up next? So now you go back to Netherlands, Belgium, and Qatar, or what's going on?
Yes. And then what do we have?
Apuria
We have Ampuria. We have a
We have
camp,
Ampuria,
a camp in
yeah.
Ampuria in,
in 2-3 weeks.
Outdoor. In
Yeah,
2 weeks.
Outdoor.
outdoors.
In 2-3 weeks.
3 weeks.
3
3
weeks.
weeks.
So what is the Qatar team is the teams are going back to Qatar and coming back into
Yeah,
three.
yeah, it's a short
3
break.
weeks,
It's
yeah.
because we've had such long breaks. The time in between camps gets a little bit shorter now. So as soon as
Well,
we, so I think they have 2 weeks at home, and then we travel to Spain.
Spain.
calling you world travelers, I think it's a very adequate.
Gray hair. Good.
Now you still have read some, Gary.
A spray paint.
Gentlemen, Gary Smith, Luc Verstrepen, thank you so much for taking some extra time here again for an update of the Qatar delegation and everything else that there is in our formation skydiving competition community. Thank you very much.
Welcome,
Thank you.
Kurt.
Thanks.
You're welcome.